the ultimate car wash? At Tommy's Express, you'll love our open and bright tunnels, easy loading, flat belt conveyor, unlimited membership, and free vacuums and mat washers. Try us for free. Text WASH 415 to 86697 to send our best wash, The Works, directly to your phone. You'll love the sudsy clean, ceramic wax, underbody flush, spot-free rinse, and tire gloss. Experience the difference and visit Tommy's Express today. Offer valid to new guests only. By participating, you consent to receive promotional and information text from Tommy's Express. Message and data rates may apply. Message frequency varies.
Now in stock at Tommy Autos.
2015 Jeep Grand Cherokee Altitude. Luxury at a value price. $13,995 or a 2017 Hyundai Santa Fe Sport with one owner. Sporty and affordable. $11,995 at Tommy Autos.
Buy here, pay here, financing options available. Everyone is approved. Tommy Autos, 2209 West 15th Street, Panama City. Call 850-960-8664. For the latest deals and specials, follow Tommy Autos on Facebook at Tag Tax and Title.
Have you ever met a single person in your life that enjoys paying taxes? No one does. If you can't sleep at night because you have a huge problem with the IRS, I've got some free advice for you. This service is strictly limited to individuals that owe the IRS $10,000 or more in back taxes. And if you qualify, we can guarantee that you won't be writing a big fat check to the IRS, or our services cost you nothing. The first 100 people that call today will get a free tax consultation worth $500. Stop worrying about your IRS problem. We can help you, we promise. Call the tax doctor right now. I mean right now to learn more.
800-605-4650. 800-605-4650. 800-605-4650. That's 800-605-4650.
WGSX Lynn Haven, WVLQ Port St. Joe. Powered by Panama City Toyota, ESPN Northwest Florida. Now back to the Inside Drive. Live and local from the Gulf Plus studios. It's the next evolution of Sports Talk Radio. The biggest stories and the biggest reactions.
Now.
And now, we're taking...
With the first pick.
This is the last ball you got to bat.
The Inside Drive. From college to the pros. Interviews with the newsmakers, sports betting, your phone calls, and more. And now, The Inside Drive with Ryan Mulvey on ESPN Northwest Florida.
And a good morning, Northwest Florida. Inside Drive on the airwaves here at ESPN Northwest Florida, 104.3 here in Panama City, 101.9 in beautiful Port St. Joe. James Fife filling in today for Mr. Ryan Mulvey, and of course, as always, behind the glass, making it happen, going out to the world, David Hayes, ladies and gentlemen.
What's going on, James? Great to have you in. As Ryan will be off the next 2 days. You'll be hosting.
I'll be in tomorrow.
Yeah, we'll have Max Live with us today and Paul tomorrow. We're going to have some great guests along the way. Really excited about the next 2 days. And then on Friday, I get to see Jay again.
Yes.
Woo!
Oh, man, I need to show up on Friday, maybe.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
I like
might
that.
Do that one. I don't know. We'll see how the world and the day and everything else like that plays out. But you are listening to the Inside Drive here on this Wednesday. It is May 14th, and this is Braves Country 104.3 Northwest Florida, and the Braves will be playing tonight. They are taking on the Nationals. 6 o'clock, we will join all of the pregame festivities after the afternoon underdogs. First pitch this evening set for 6:15 in our beautiful nation capital. Looking forward to that game tonight. Going to be listening to it right here on the airwaves. And the Inside Drive, our big sponsor, our studio sponsor, it happens because of Golf Plus. So if you guys are golfers, or if you know any golfers, head on over to Golf Plus. They will take care of you. If you're not a golfer, but you know a golfer, just get a gift certificate, man. They do that there. That way, they can go out and that golfer can choose what they want. Because, hey, you never know what somebody wants unless they just, walk up to you and say, hey, man, buy me a driver putter. I have no idea what a driver putter is.
I don't know what
but
that
I just
is.
invented it.
But they might have one over there at Golf Plus.
You never know.
James, let's do something fun today. Let's
do
take
it.
give me a number 1 through 15.
Oh, I like 13 on that one.
13. All right, so let's go to the 13th caller. let's let them go get a taste of Golf Plus. You just brought up Golf Plus gift certificates,
That's right.
which made me think of it. We've got a few $10 Golf Plus golf certificates.
That was yes, we got it out. You got it out.
So 13th caller number 13, James is going to be giving away a Golf Plus $10 gift certificate.
There we go. We are giving it away today, man. Always love giving it away to the people. So caller number 13, get your phones out, 850-215-6290. You can also text that phone number and talk to us. Or you can just call us and talk to us. But hey, we are here, we are live, we are local, and we are going on this Wednesday. Let's get going by going over last night's sports scores. We'll start in the world of baseball. The Atlanta Braves taking on the Washington Nationals. Braves come away with the big win, 5-2 over the Nationals. Braves now 21-21 on the season, back up to that 500 level again. So excited for that, especially with that start that the Braves had to the season. Oh man, that offer that lasted for over a week, not very helpful to the Braves at the beginning. But hey, coming back, looking good. And speaking of coming back and looking good, Ronald Acuna last night got his first taste of baseball since the injury last May. He got out and played for the Braves in the Florida Complex League. That's like a low A type of baseball. Down here in Florida, they were taking on the Baltimore Florida Complex League team, or the Baltimore Orioles Florida Complex League team there. And Ronald Acuna, during the 5th inning, got a big home run over the center field wall. So congratulations to Ronnie on making it to baseball again.
Yeah.
Very excited about that. Now, Braves still have not issued a timeline for when we will have a chance at seeing Ronald Acuna into the big leagues. So,
Yeah.
But it's nice to at least see the man getting back out on a diamond and smacking the ball.
And
makes it feel good.
Yeah, and that uniform that he's wearing with that yellow shin pad that he's wearing, looking pretty good.
Looking good. So
Excited for it, and it does look like, sorry about that.
does look like it. Oh,
It does look like maybe early June for Ronnie to come back, and we kind of sorely need him right now.
Yes.
I mean, hey, inching a little bit closer there to getting over 500 now, so we'll see how it plays out.
I mean, it can go over 500 tonight.
There we go.
That would
At
be
least
a
we
great
made
thing.
it. We made it to 500, baby.
We have made it to 500 and looking good at home. Still Braves 14-6 at home. So always nice to be playing and winning at home. Other games last night, the Tampa Bay Rays north of the border in Toronto taking on the Blue Jays. Rays win that game 11-9. Junior Caminaro's grand slam is what gave the Rays the lead in the 8th inning, and they held on to it for the big win. Marlins taking on the Cubs last night.
Wow, what a game.
That was a great one. I was watching that on one of my smaller TVs while I was watching, the old Stanley Cup playoffs.
Yeah.
But great game. Marlins came out with the 2-0 lead in the 1st inning, but the Cubs come back to win the game 5-4. Justin Turner doubles in the 9th inning for the walk-off victory. Looked so good.
And he's below the Mendoza line. Like, it came into
below.
pitch like
First extra base
155,
hit
so
of the
might be
season.
up 157. Yeah, up to 157. That was his first extra base hit.
Yep.
And you didn't pinch hit until what? 7th, 8th inning?
7th or 8th inning, somewhere in there,
Yeah, I believe he pitch hit, right? Last night? Because I feel like his first at bat was a walk, which was the 7th inning, and then he came in and got that double. Because when he came,
we're short-staffed when he's a defensive sub.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, when you don't have him DHing and when you let him touch anywhere out on the field.
Yeah, he's a fossil now. But pro hitter at bat though.
Yeah,
roped it down the line, and it's nice that we have a ton of speed demons. Nico scoring from first. He just did a celebratory slide.
For him? Yeah, but for Nico to
so clutch.
I mean, that was huge.
Great.
I mean, the Marlins, it was clutch on their behalf because they put up 3 in the 7th or the 8th, and then they put up another one, make it 4-2. That was
they kept it a game the whole game. That was the nice thing about this game is it was an exciting game the whole game. There was always something going on, always a run on the board. I always like games like that.
I had a parlay out that the only 2 legs that I needed to hit were the Cubs to beat the Marlins and the Reds to beat the White Sox. So I got both Chicago teams playing baseball, or watching that on the TV, and the Cubs get it done. I'm like, all right, so there's a chance.
All right. We got half of this.
1-0 for the White Sox and the Reds, and I'm sure we'll be talking about that game, so I'll save that. But it was not a great ending for the night last night. Come on.
Not the way to have a nightcap. But
Reds after 9 are garbage.
We'll just continue. Yes, that is a true fact on that one. We can bring AG in to talk about that one. And most of it's just like bad base running, too.
Mr. Sunshine.
They are just getting caught, just running like a nincompoop a lot of the time. I don't know what it is about them. They got a lot of speed, and I think they're trying to be aggressive with the speed.
Yeah.
But it's getting them caught a little more than you'd really want to see out there.
Well, thank goodness for Ellie just to even get that game to where it got to last night with that no-doubter.
Crazy. Brewers-Guardians last night. Brewers didn't even bother to score a run. Guardians win that game 2-0. Red Sox taking on the Tigers in Detroit. This game took 11 innings. It finally ended in the 11th. 10-9 in favor of the Tigers with a Javier Baez 3-run blast to end that game in the 11th. White Sox taking on the Cincinnati Reds in Cincinnati. Game made it to the 10th inning, but that 1-1 score did not end 1-1 in baseball. No, it did not. It ended 5-1. In favor of the White Sox. Sorry, Dave.
It is what it is. You know, I really thought that the Reds kind of had the upper hand, the momentum going into extra innings. Then I'm hearing the broadcasters. They haven't scored a run in extra innings. I believe they're now 0-5 in extra inning games. I believe I'm correct on that. Yeah, for the Reds.
That's
so
not
they haven't
good.
won a game in extra innings, and they haven't even scored a run. And so I was hoping
that you get a guy that starts at second.
Yeah,
that's the sad part. There is you already got somebody in scoring position. You know, hit the ball to the outfield and you got to run.
And I'm not trying to dog the Reds. I mean, they're
pretty bad.
They're in a tough division this year, right?
When are the Reds like good? You know, 70s,
beginning of the season normally.
The 90s. They had the 2 wins in the 90-91.
Yeah,
you're
right.
Yeah,
you're right.
After that, though, kind of nothing.
It's
kind of a whole bunch of nothing after that.
It's just if you're a Reds fan, you know, going into about the month of August, you're on the football season.
I guess so. Yeah, you're right. 1990, they won.
Yeah, they got the.
It wasn't alive yet. Doesn't count.
World Series back then. That was the last one. That was the last year for Pete in Major League Baseball as well. So we'll definitely be talking that later.
Guess who's back? Not technically back, but back in the game of baseball. Yeah.
All right, Pirates, Mets. Pirates 1, Mets 2. Colorado Rockies taking on the Rangers last night. The Rockies did bother to score a run, but it wasn't enough. The Rangers win the game 4-1. Royals taking on the Astros. Royals 1, Astros 2. Angels, Padres last night. The Angels get 4. The Padres get 6. That game taking place in San Diego. Out west, still the New York Yankees taking on the Seattle Mariners. This game ends in 1-2 fashion in the 11th inning. Yankees just barely hanging on to that 500 on the road, which is kind of a little bit surprising considering how good of a team they are. But get them away from New York City, and they're just not carrying it right now.
Yeah.
Diamondbacks, Giants.
But DJ LeMahieu is back. And then, but who was it that fractured their...
LeMahieu, Oswald Cabrera is going to be out for a good hot minute, I'd say. They did put him on the 10-day DL. I don't think it's going to be 10 days for him to come back after that one. I think that's more of a 60-day DL, and you just kind of let him sit there. You might...
For what? Broken wrist?
Broke his leg.
Yeah. Was it leg or I thought it was foot for some reason?
No, it was an upper ankle fracture, so it was probably a tib fib, both of them. I haven't.
That's like fringe season.
He might come back for like a deep playoff run, but I highly doubt it. I wouldn't want to push the guy that hard. So see him again probably next year.
Yeah, we'll see him in September maybe.
Diamondbacks, Giants last night. The Diamondbacks 6. The Giants come away with 10 runs on the evening. And the Athletics of... I don't know. And the Los Angeles Dodgers played in Los Angeles last night. The Athletics pouring it on to the Dodgers. 11 runs and 18 hits to the Dodgers. 1 run and 8 hits. 2 games postponed yesterday. Twins and Orioles postponed. Cardinals at Phillies also postponed. The Orioles-Twins game is currently being played right now, so turn it on the TV, guys, if you are wanting to watch some good old afternoon or even morning baseball.
Yeah, this is morning baseball,
Gotta love
baby.
that, man. That is the best feeling. You can just turn a TV on when you wake up. Boom.
Yeah.
Sports.
Boom. Sports.
Yeah,
Those are great nights.
My friends and I call it Brian Dayball.
I like that. Jay calls it the businessman special. I call it games I don't really get to watch.
Yeah, that's a problem with it. If you're out doing stuff, it's like, no, I want to watch that one. Want to move on into the NBA?
Yeah,
Let's move
go
on
ahead.
into the NBA.
I know Dave does.
Yeah, I'm excited about it, man. I love overrated players.
Love the NBA. Let's see.
Overrate that.
Well, there was a elimination last night in the NBA playoffs. The number one of the East, Cleveland Cavaliers, just did not show up in the second round of the playoffs. Pacers win last night, 114-105. That ends the series in 5 games, with the Pacers winning 4 games and the Cleveland Cavaliers only winning 1 game.
Mistake on the lake.
That was, but I mean, if you look at it, man, the Cavaliers came out of the gates hot.
Yeah,
hot.
They were pretty beat up, though. I'm not making excuses. Pacers, better team, deserved it. I think they win regardless. But I mean, that whole like how they're playing right now, I think Pacers better team,
so,
which isn't. I don't know that how to take 4-1, but I mean, between the Mitchell injury, Mobley, and a few other guys, Garland, a lot of gimpy guys on the squad. Yeah, Hunter. Yeah, I mean. It is what it is, but that's basketball. Yeah.
But Donovan Mitchell sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I mean, Pacers are just way better coached, too. Like, let's be honest.
Rick Carlisle, man.
Playoff coaching adjustments, huge. Like, I mean, I don't know if it's Jokic or Malone, but, I mean, that's been the Nuggets' Achilles heel. They should have closed out the series. It's 2 games they've choked back-to-back now.
Yeah. I mean, and having that, almost 10-point lead late in the game. And
almost, yeah. And then kind of fell apart on that one. Need to go look at the ESPN chart on what your winning chances were and how bad you screwed up at the end. I always love looking at those charts where it goes way up, and then you just see that big old crash coming straight down. Like, man, I feel bad for those kids.
Yeah, right.
I think they're not kids, of course. They're adults that are making millions of dollars, but still, wow.
Yeah. I think because when we were on, I was really bagging Halliburton because he got voted like most overrated player. Or maybe it was with you and Ryan.
Yeah, because you said
and I mentioned it to Dake as well, so I got to do like a handwritten letter to Dake.
Oh.
You are right,
Halliburton.
Sorry.
I got to eat crow. He hit multiple huge shots, and he's been fantastic.
And it's not just the game winners. Last night, I mean, what did he have? Did he get over 30? He was at 29. I don't know if he hit that last 3, so maybe he's stuck at 29 last night. But again, my favorite thing about him is that he's more of a facilitator first and then scores later. But the game winners that he's hit, he's been a lot of fun to watch. Yeah. I do got to say, though, if the Cavs were healthy and not just in the playoffs. They only played DeAndre Hunter, Evan Mobley, Darius Garland, Donovan Mitchell. They only played 22 games going into the playoffs together. So their chemistry wasn't even all there, even if they were healthy, even being completely healthy from game 1 or at the beginning of the playoffs, maybe it would have grown a little bit. But also, Donovan Mitchell getting hurt late in that series, questionable for last night. And still, I mean, what a dog Donovan Mitchell was in this series. Because if they didn't have Donovan Mitchell, this is more than likely a sweep and blowouts in every single game.
I agree.
Yeah, agreed on that one.
And who would have thought that we'd be seeing, more than likely, the Pacers and the Knicks in the Eastern Conference Finals?
Unreal.
I mean, that's crazy right there.
A lot of it does come down to injuries to an extent, but I mean, the Knicks have really bullied the Celtics late in the games, and the Pacers were down in a lot of those games against the Cavaliers, and just like Max just mentioned, Rick Carlisle and his adjustments have been huge.
Yeah, he's been a dog. And looking at the Celtics, too, I don't know I know Tatum went down, but is Jaylen Brown hurt or what's going on there? He's been horrible.
And this was supposed to be
he's hurt. I just think he's playing bad.
This was supposed to be his kind of prove it, right? Because he got left off of Team USA and all of that. So it's kind of more of a reason to show it. And the worst part about it is when you're up 20 and then you're letting these guys come back, and just, shout out to, or kudos rather, to Jalen Brunson and the guys over there for the Knicks, and Mikal Bridges, they're playing scrappy basketball.
Nuggets and Thunder last night. Nuggets 105, Thunder 112. That takes the series to Game 6. OKC right now has the lead in the series 3-2 over the Nuggets. And the Nuggets last night looked all right all the way up until the third quarter. And then once that fourth quarter started, they just left.
Yeah.
They were gone. What was it, like 15 points, 18 points in the fourth. 19, got it right here. 19 points, fourth quarter. This is the NBA, man. You cannot score less than 20, 21 points in a quarter and expect to be in the game at any point. Now, it does kind of happen every once in a while because the Pacers only got 19 points, last night in the first quarter, but then just dominated the rest of it. But when you are just hanging in there by the skin of your teeth through the first three quarters and then you come out in the fourth quarter and you just lay an egg, it ain't going to last, man. It ain't going to work. So kind of worried about the Nuggets right now. Maybe they have run out of some steam. Not quite sure, but I did pick the Nuggets for the championship, so my bracket's still kind of together.
Got a chance. Did you watch the end of that game last night? Did you guys see that?
I actually tapped out with about 5 minutes.
Oh my gosh!
I know the worst. The worst time.
If you can go back and watch the last 5 minutes, Jokic hit consecutively two of the hardest shots I've ever seen in my life.
Was it one of those two where he's holding the ball right behind his head and just tosses it up?
Like the opposite of a granny. It's an overhand. Oh god!
Triple coverage, gets through. Who does he meet at the block? Chet throws a floater over Chet that hit about as high as you can on the backboard without hitting the top. Just drops straight in. And all the guys are going nuts on the broadcast. They're like, oh my gosh, Jokic, blah, blah. They come back down. The OKC drills a three, so they go up 3. Jokic again gets in one of those tied up situations, shot clock running down, does the overhead chuck, straight swish down, and oh my gosh, I need to find the clip of the two shots because they were both difficulty level 1000.
Difficulty, I like that.
Like over Chet too, 8'4" wingspan, and he just throws a nice little kiss floater.
Well, that's what you got to do to get over that, man.
I know.
Jokic is tall to begin with, but Chet's taller,
6'11",
so that little
6'10", but being that graceful, I was like, oh my gosh.
That's what's so funny because Luka sometimes does not look graceful, right?
A lot of times he doesn't look graceful.
That's how I feel about it. But Jokic, for as being a bigger body style and everything, sometimes it looks a little aloof, if you will, but it does end up being graceful somehow. So
yeah, they were both over Chet. I know it's bad radio, but look at this.
Oh, God, yeah. So you see him, he's setting up on the three.
God.
Takes the three from the outside, just straight over Chet. I mean, that was amazing shot right there. Just nice setup, nice put in right there. Now let's do the NHL game, and then we'll head on into break.
Okay, all right. Well, I just wanted to get your thoughts real quick, Max, on how you feel. Nice CFP Indiana shirt, by the way. College football playoff belt.
Never daunted.
But Chet Holmgren, how have you felt about Chet Holmgren this year?
He's been pretty good. I mean, you obviously got to knock him for missing those 2 free throws, especially if you're foul down 3 crowd and you're going to miss those. I guess I didn't know there was a sphere of the world that argues that he can hang with Wemby, but I guess that's a big OKC Spurs argument. And all the Spurs fans after he went 0 for 2 are never mention that man's name in the same sentence as Wembanyama again.
Do not do that.
They're like, we are not the same. But I mean, he's been good. I got to be honest too. I was definitely not sold on him. I mean, coming from Gonzaga, we got to see limited time because of the foot injury, which stunk. But I was like, he's kind of fragile. Some of those guys you get worried about. I know KD, I think we all still thought was going to be good. One of those stilty guys who's a bucket. But Chet is because he's a big, but he moves really well, and he's actually a pretty dang good defender. So
he moves well. My big thing with Chet is he just doesn't have that size. He can be pushed around a little bit once that he gets down underneath that net. Because that is one thing that I did see Jokic kind of doing in games 2 and 3 was once that he got under that net, he would just put that shoulder into Chet and just back him up. Because Chet's taller, Jokic much heavier, much more of a stout man. NHL scores last night, only one game in the NHL playoffs last night. We saw the Winnipeg Jets travel down to Dallas to take on the Stars. Stars get the 3-1 victory in that game. Mikael Granlund getting all 3 goals for the Stars, getting the hat trick there, making the Dallas Stars have the 3-1 series lead over the Jets right now. And are the Jets just going to have to live with that old President's Cup curse? I just think they might, man. Winning that President's Trophy is not what you want to do in the NHL. I'm telling you that right now.
And Granlund almost had 4 last night.
I'm stoked for tonight's game. Watching the Oilers is awesome. it's got to be the most sober thing you can do to be feeling like you're on drugs, because it is the highest of highs and the lowest of lows. Oh my God.
It just all depends on how those top 6 are doing. If those top 6 aren't doing anything, that team has absolutely nothing. But if they are, they can roll with like 8 goals.
Yeah, it's like, I'm going to get the year wrong, but I think it's like 2019 Chiefs, like when they lost to Brady in the AFC Championship game, where it's like, you're going to get the goals, but you're also going to have horrible defensive errors. You got Skinner 10 feet out the net. You got everything. I don't know.
Skinner's not great, but man, that defense in front of him is nothing but Swiss cheese.
Oh, no. But also, I mean, you're the hockey guy here, but I don't, for that own goal, I don't really fault Draisaitl there. I mean, he was trying to cover, in this, like, because in that frame, you don't see Skinner within, like, 8 feet of the goal when they show it above that, which I know. And when you're skating back, I don't know if it's similar to soccer. If a cross comes in, you quickly can't stop. I don't know what the move would have been there with 0.3 seconds.
So, what happened on that goal, which was amazing, 0.4 seconds
crazy
left.
Way to end.
And literally off the defenseman's stick, off Leon Draisaitl's stick, right into the back of the net. And, the Oilers were playing that situation as a whole. Skinner as the goaltender coming out on a hard charge there. It looks weird and he's way out. But the thing is it's like there's 1 second left. So this guy can't get past me. Right. None of his teammates are here that he can pass it to. Nope. So get aggressive with him. Make him do something with it. It's just... what do? You look up, there's only 1 second left. I'm just going to throw it towards the front of the net and hope miracles happened, and miracles are there. All right, guys.
Also, best goal song, by the way. Sorry.
Which one?
La 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 bamba. Okay, sorry.
Okay, all right. We're going to take a break now, guys. So you are tuned in to the Inside Drive, sponsored by Golf Plus. When we get back, Pete Rose, Shoeless Joe, eligible now Hall of Famers. We'll discuss.
Keep the game going with ESPN Northwest Florida. Just because you get out of the car doesn't mean the Sports Talk and Live play-by-play have to end. Just say, hey, Alexa, open ESPN Northwest Florida. From Michigan Avenue to the man cave, from the car to the kitchen, we've got you covered. Keep the game going. Hey, Alexa, open ESPN Northwest Florida.
Good morning. This is Joanna on ESPN Northwest Florida with your weather forecast on this Wednesday. Mostly sunny this afternoon and evening with a gentle breeze coming out of the southwest around 11 miles per hour and temps near 80. Tonight we will have slight fog and mostly clear skies and be warm at 74. Slightly foggy in the morning, followed by mostly sunshine tomorrow and a high 81. This forecast is sponsored by Mid-South Lumber, the best little lumber yard in Panama City. Thank you for keeping that dial on ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
CBC Construction is looking for a few good men. At CBC Construction, our greatest strength lies within our talented team. Join us and be a part of a dynamic company that values its people. We offer a tremendous opportunity to create a future for your family and the Florida Panhandle. CBC Construction is now hiring. Call us at 850-740-3815 or visit cbcconstruction.com to learn more. CBC Construction. Be part of a winning team.
Mid-South Lumber, where they treat you like family. Locally owned and serving the residents of Bay County for over 45 years. See Mid-South Lumber for all of your DIY projects, including windows, doors, siding, lumber, and millwork. Are you building a new home? Bring your contractor in to Mid-South Lumber and meet with a member of their sales team to discuss your framing, siding, windows, and doors. Mid-South Lumber, the biggest little lumber yard in Panama City. 717 West 11th Street.
Lone Star Boil House and Sports Bar, where the locals go for the best boiled seafood around. Crawfish, shrimp, red royals, and everything crabs. Watch almost every sporting event in the country on their huge outdoor jumbotron. Follow them on Facebook to stay up to date on weekly events, live music, and food and beer specials. Lone Star Boil House and Sports Bar, your home away from home for sports, good times, and great food. The best boiled seafood. Lone Star Boil House and Sports Bar, 320 West 5th Street, downtown Panama City.
Broadcasting from the Golf Plus studios, it's the Inside Drive. This is where heroes are created, legends are born, and dynasties forged. sports talk master, ESPN Northwest Florida. Now back to Ryan Mulvey and the Inside Drive.
We're jamming, man, yeah. Jamming.
Bob McLeod.
Oh my God.
All right, guys. We will now just head on into the show after that. This is the Inside Drive, sponsored by Golf Plus, and Golf Plus is right here in Panama City Beach and also in Dothan, Alabama. And if you need any golf accessories, or if you just want to go in and talk some golf, they are absolutely
for your
happy
driver putter
to be for our driver putters.
Listening.
Exactly. You know, we're gonna go in and get our driver putter.
I love that.
Never used one, never seen one, but I bet we can go talk to Alan and he'll get us one. Guaranteed. All right, so before the break, I should probably say who we are. I'm James Fife. Hi. Got Max Delyden with us. David Hayes with us.
Yo.
Inside Drive. And before we took our little break, I said that we were going to talk Pete Rose and Shoeless Joe Jackson. So we all know Pete. We all love Pete. We know Pete was banned from baseball. We know Pete would never get into the Hall of Fame. And we are quite saddened at Pete's passing last year. I do believe it was in September of last year. So much condolences to the Rose family for the loss. But
Hit King.
But we are here right now, and what do we know about Pete Rose right now? We do know that Rob Manfred has come out and said, basically, that all these guys who were forever and ever and ever shunned from baseball may now be brought back into the game once they have completed their death. So you've got to be dead now to get into the Hall of Fame if you get on baseball's bad side. Hey, it's a step in the right direction, though, because for how long could baseball just ban somebody and forever be banned? It's not even a life sentence at that point. It's an eternity sentence at that point. Because let's look at it. I mean, Shoeless Joe Jackson died in the 1950s, I want to say. Still not in the Hall of Fame because of, well, the whole Black Sox scandal and the rigging of the 1919 World Series for the White Sox to lose, or as we know them now, the Black Sox to lose. So we are going to be able now, since both Pete and Shoeless Joe have passed on into the other world, they are now allowed to be on ballots for the Hall of Fame. I like this move. It's a good move. It is something that should have been done way long ago. Because, I mean, if you look at it, did Pete Rose do something bad? Yes. He bet on baseball, which that was already a rule. That was a known rule. We knew it was a rule. He knew it was a rule. There's little rule boards posted in most major league parks in a dugout, or not in the dugout, but in the clubhouse for guys to look at to know, hey, these are some rules that we need to follow. They're also, every year during spring training sometime, at the beginning of spring training, the team brings all the guys together and locks them in a room, and they have conversations on how things go. And they go over things like Major League Baseball do's and don'ts. And all of these things are explained to these guys every year. Even if you're an 18-year veteran like Clayton Kershaw, you sit through these meetings at the beginning of every year, and you hear about how gambling is a no-no. Just don't even bother doing it. Don't do it on your personal phone. Don't do it, especially like when you're at, any kind of Major League Baseball facility or anything that has to do with you being a Major League Baseball player. So say if you are staying in a hotel that team is paying for, you are still part of a Major League Baseball event. You may not be gambling in that hotel room. A lot of guys don't realize that. That's got some guys in trouble, especially in the NFL.
Yeah, that's a very sensible take right there.
So
fact. You can't do it on sports. We could play cards and gamble, right?
You can,
because those guys throw cash. They've posted on planes and stuff.
That's one of those that's a gray area because you're not, when you're just with your buddies like that, that's a little bit different than going through a bookie. or being like in Vegas or Tahoe or someplace that has gambling that's sent out to you. So it's for Pete. Was it bad? Yes, Pete. That was bad. You bet on baseball. You bet on baseball while being the manager of a team. The worst part, he bet on baseball and he bet on his team. Now we can go in and we can have discussions. Did Pete Rose bet against the Reds, or as his bookie has said, and his bookie still continues to this day to say...
His bookie's still alive?
Yeah, his bookie's still alive.
Wow.
Has continued to say, Pete never bet against the Reds. Yeah. Now, Pete did not bet some games that the Reds played in because, well, maybe he thought they were going to lose, so he didn't want to put that money down. Makes sense. A little bit of insider information there. Yeah. But according to those around Pete, he never bet for the Reds to lose. So do we, as a society, do we want Pete Rose in the Hall of Fame? Should he be in the Hall of Fame? I say Pete should be in the Hall of Fame. Even though, yes, he bet on baseball, and that was bad. And I think he learned his mistake of betting on baseball. He might not have, but I think he did. And I think he should have been reinstated later on in life. Like when he was an old man who couldn't manage, who wasn't going to be in a front office, who wasn't going to coach, who definitely wasn't going to play anymore. You knew he wasn't really going to be a part of the game. Why not let him back in? You let him back on TV. You let him back to the World Series to talk baseball at the World Series before World Series games. You let him be kind of, sort of a part of the game at the end. Why not just say, hey, Pete, we'll get you on the ballot. We'll let you be on the ballot. Because how can you have a guy, 4,256 hits, 3 World Series title, an MVP in 1973, 17 All-Star appearances, and you're telling me that guy is not good enough to be in the Hall of Fame? No, you're wrong, guys. Those are numbers that will not be reached again. Nobody will get to 5,256 hits. I don't think so.
No.
Because because baseball, one, is played different now. We're not worried about getting singles. We're not worried about getting on base. Launch angles, home runs. That's the key right now. Not just amassing hits. So I don't think we'll see that 4,256 broken. We're also giving more guys downtime. We're giving more guys more rest. So you're not going to see those guys playing in as many games. So Pete, yes, Pete should be a Hall of Famer. Pete should be on the ballot, and Pete will be on the ballot, but he will not be on any of the voting ballots until December of 2027.
So it's a long
So
way
it's
out.
still going to be a little bit more time because we already have the 2025 one set and it's out, so people can start voting on it to get it back in.
Yeah.
And the 2026 one is usually an agreed upon thing. They usually have about a 2-year stretch where they have, okay, these guys are going to be on it. And then they have a reset. So that reset will be December 2027. Now, hopefully, we are still playing baseball by then because at December 2026 is when the CBA runs out. That's a different story for a different day. So with Mr. Manfred removing Pete Rose from the permanently ineligible list, we have a chance to send the greatest hitter, the greatest hustler of the game. The dude ran every play out. He didn't Jared Kelnick anything at any point. He ran it out.
Fired.
Yeah, dang.
Exactly. Shots fired. There's so many players. It's not even just Kelnick.
James, I have a question for you that I think a lot of listeners probably have too. How did Pete get caught?
How did Pete get caught? So Pete got caught basically by lying on his taxes. Pay your taxes, everybody. He went to jail for 6 months for tax fraud.
Yes. And
so it's, much like Al Capone. Pay your taxes, people.
As a loan officer in the room here also, if you're doing a business, hire a CPA. You are probably not as good at doing your taxes as a CPA is, and you can have some issues as a if you're trying to get a loan.
Well, I mean, but you got to look at what Pete was doing there too. He wasn't exactly doing something legal. You don't really want to walk up to your CPA and go, "Hey, buddy,
yeah,
I got $60,000 in illegal winnings here. Can you help me out on how to, tell the government I did this?"
Yeah, just keep it under your mattress.
Yeah, exactly.
Just kidding, IRS.
So, with Pete, get to the Hall of Fame, buddy. Shoeless Joe Jackson, also
Hall of Fame.
Get to the Hall of Fame, buddy. You deserve it.
I think it'll be first ballot for him?
I think it should be.
I think we all agree that it should be.
I think we should let Shoeless Joe in first because he's been waiting way longer.
Yeah, just stirring in his grave.
And for Shoeless Joe, in his defense,
grandkids.
Yeah.
Because I made a defense for Pete Rose. My defense for Shoeless Joe, and we'll make this a little bit quicker. Shoeless Joe playing baseball at the turn of the century, playing in the World Series in 1919. Man was basically illiterate. Didn't know how to read. Didn't know how to write. Great baseball player. Now, saying that, he signed a contract. He was dumb enough to actually sign a contract to throw a game. But how can you uphold that contract? He didn't read. He didn't write. You cannot uphold that contract, and that should be legally thrown out. But again, still betting on baseball. But this was also before baseball had a written rule. Baseball had many unwritten rules at the time, and one of the unwritten rules was you don't bet on baseball.
Yeah.
But baseball did not at that time have the written rule that you could not be a part of gambling. And so that's why that one was probably the worst of the black eyes.
So it's kind of much like the steroid situation where there was no written rules about taking PEDs, but then they just started spamming everyone.
and that's the thing is we're letting some of the guys during that time period in. We're letting some of those guys not in. We're letting some of those guys at that time period who weren't on PEDs, Ken Griffey Jr., we're letting them in. But we're not letting guys who were on PEDs, Barry Bonds. And we're also letting guys that were on PEDs in, Roger Clemens.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we need to get consistency with this. If you're going to let one guy in during the period and we know he's a known steroid user, then why are we keeping Barry Bonds out? We shouldn't. He did it. Did he get some help from steroids? Yeah. Did he still barrel up that ball every single time? Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Is it easy to barrel up a baseball at 100 miles an hour?
No.
I mean,
no.
Judge is the closest we've seen to Bonds since Bonds.
Oh, absolutely.
And it's clean.
And there's so many other people that are in the Hall of Fame that if you say you've got to also be a good person to be in the Hall of Fame, we need to go through the Hall of Fame and we need to start throwing people out left and right. Because there's people in the Hall of Fame that are known alcoholics. There are people in the Hall of Fame that are known wife abusers. There are people in the Hall of Fame that are absolute racist. For the racist part, I can tell you Ty Cobb, Connie Mack, owner of the Athletics for 60 years or something like that.
Hashtag out the Hall of Fame.
He was one of those people that did not want. He was very adamant about the color barrier not being broken while he was involved in baseball. So, I mean, he's in the Hall of Fame. We got, just because you're in the Hall of Fame doesn't make you a good person. It just makes you a good baseball player.
Facts.
So, we are going to take a break. When we get back, we will discuss the NFL schedule, what we know about it, and the NFL will be coming back to us very, very soon. Inside Drive, sponsored by Golf Plus, ESPN Northwest Florida, 104.3 Panama City, 101.9 Port St. Joe. We will be right back.
ESPN Northwest Florida, the afternoon underdogs.
Gator Jamie says survival combo, celebrity, Scarlett Johansson, food and drink, whatever she wants. Gator Jamie's always got the best humorous answers.
4 to 6 weekdays. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Introducing Water Clear Pools. the home of the 10-week pool guarantee. We guarantee custom pool completion from permit to your first swim in 10 weeks or less. Water Clear Pools is the premier pool builder for the Margaritaville development on Highway 79. Free quotes and custom pools anywhere in Northwest Florida. Call now, 850-835-4177, or see our website, waterclearpool.com. Licensed and insured. License number CPC 1459723.
Los Rancheros has been doing it right for 20 years. Los Rancheros brings a top-shelf dining experience to you with the opening of their beautiful new building. Watch all college and pro games on Los Rancheros' 14 large-screen TVs with great drink specials daily from 2 to 5 and during all the games. Los Rancheros, the place for live sports and great food on 23rd Street between Jenks and Harrison.
Pier Park, get ready to shake things up. Paradise Nutrition is now open. Craving flavor and fitness? We've got you covered. Loaded teas, protein-packed shakes, gourmet coffees, and refreshing drinks. From our signature Jimmy Buffett tea to Reese's Shake, Paradise Nutrition has over 600 flavor combos. Need energy? Appetite control? We've got add-ons like boba, biotin, collagen, and probiotics. Plus, try our donut whole shot appetite suppressant. Paradise Nutrition, Pier Park, next to Target.
Broadcasting from the Gulf Plus Studios. It's the Inside Drive. The locals love it.
You're gonna love this. You are my favorite. It's my favorite.
Everybody's favorite. The Inside Drive with Ryan Mulvey. Live on ESPN Northwest Florida.
ESPN Northwest Florida Inside Drive, brought to us by Golf Plus. And for all your golfing needs, visit Alan over at Golf Plus. I am James Fife. Max walking back into the room. David Hayes here with us on this beautiful kind of Wednesday day. Happy hump day, everybody. We are getting you through the work week, and you are tuned into ESPN Northwest Florida, and this is Braves country. Got the Braves coming on tonight. Pre-game festivities 6 o'clock. First pitch 6:15 after the afternoon underdogs with David Hayes. So before we went to break, told you that we will discuss the NFL schedule, at least what we know right now of the NFL schedule. And the big party for the release of the NFL schedule will be tonight. So all of you NFL fans out there who are just waiting with bated breath to see when your favorite teams are playing, you will know tonight what days and what times you will be playing those football games. So as of right now, we know a couple of games. Mostly we know important kind of games like the opening game for the season, which will be week 1, of course. That'll be a Thursday night game. We will see Dallas taking on Philadelphia. That game will be on NBC and Peacock. So how you guys feeling about an opening matchup between the Cowboys and the Eagles?
Oh, man. Two really likable teams.
Exactly.
We are talking about the Super Bowl champion here, Max.
Yeah, that's true. I don't hate the Cowboys giving them a run with Dak being back and just the Super Bowl hangover, you know?
Yeah.
Is it new? It's at Philly. It's not like a Brazil game or something.
No, nothing weird like that. It is
-7, I believe, for the Eagles to start it out.
All right.
I love how we already have a spread.
Yeah.
We haven't even gone to training camp, but we got a spread, boys.
Yeah, I'll probably take a total on that game. I'm going to have to wait.
Take a total? Yeah. No, absolutely. We don't know what injuries are going to pop up. We don't really know what the Cowboys are going to be bringing to the table. We really don't know. I mean, Dak should be healthy. He got injured in, week 9 last year? So, I think that this is going to – it's obviously going to be intriguing because it's the Eagles and the Cowboys. The Eagles are going to be defending their Super Bowl their championship. The Cowboys are going to be
on national television.
Exactly. I mean, it's just it's the perfect storm, if you will. But I think Philly's going to come out and be dominant. The only question I have with Philly this year is we saw them 2 years ago, right after they lose their OC and their DC after their Super Bowl appearance, and they started out real hot, but then they kind of fell back a little bit. I just wonder what it's going to be like now, Kellen Moore being the head coach of the Saints. how that offense is going to work. But, I mean, when you got Saquon Barkley, A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, and Jalen Hurts is continuing to grow each year and is a great leader, man, and the defense really hasn't taken any steps back, maybe steps forward, I think that we could be seeing Philly in a little bit of a blowout game. So I'm right there with Max, where I feel like it's going to be a total pick for me.
Yeah, I could see that one too, because Dallas is still Dallas, and until they stop being Dallas of the past 30 years, I'm just going to consider them being the Cowboys that we know and love over those last couple of decades. Because let's face it, Dallas sells a lot of tickets, sells a lot of T-shirts, doesn't sell you a lot of wins though.
No. No. You don't even buy a lot of wins.
We're short on wins. We're really short on Super Bowls over the last 30 years.
Well, and then the other question is, we just talked about the coaching staff for the Eagles, but on the flip side now for the Cowboys is Brian Schottenheimer, and we don't really know much about him, and he was, hired from within. Is this just another yes man and yes man and a long line of yes men for Jerry Jones and the Cowboys?
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Absolutely. A resounding yes.
Yes. Yes. That's Jerry's problem, is Jerry thinks he's the football mind. He is the football mind. There is no other football mind other than Jerry's football mind. I don't know why, but the man, I think, thinks he's coaching. Like, when he's sitting up in that owner's box, I think he's coaching, which is why he goes out and hires, like Mike McCarthy and makes him the third lowest paid coach in the NFL. And I think that's one of Jerry's bigger problems, is because Jerry thinks he is the football brain. He doesn't want other football brains around him. He wants to be that guy making that decision. So he goes out and he picks a coach and he pays them minimals. The Cowboys, if you look over the last couple of runs with the Cowboys and their head coaching, it has always been a bottom 10 paying job on a team that is one of the top money-making teams. I mean, in AT&T Stadium, or whatever we call it now, there is a machine underneath that blue star at the 50-yard line underneath the grass. It's like a little compound, little basement in there, and that machine prints money. Yeah. And that's all it does. And Jerry can't take any of that money and go out and pay for people to put around him that are actual football minds. We're getting way sidetracked. Let's get back into the schedule. Week 4. So the other ones that we know is we know all
the self-check.
Yep, I got there. So what we know for other upcoming games is we know all of the international games that we are playing currently. So we are getting into a time period now where it's like we have, I think, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have 6 international games. The first one will be taking place week 4. Minnesota will be taking on the Pittsburgh Steelers. This game will be coming to us live from Dublin, Ireland. Week number 5, another international game, also featuring the Vikings. 2 weeks in a row for the Vikings, getting a nice paid vacation for the guys there. Like that. Minnesota Vikings will be taking on the Cleveland Browns. This game will be taking place in jolly old London, England. Week 6, we'll see the Denver Broncos and the New York Jets, also in London. Week 7, the Los Angeles Rams at the Jacksonville Jaguars, live from London as well. And then we skip on down to Week 10. This will give us another international game. That will be the Falcons taking on the Colts. That game will be from beautiful Germany in Berlin. Also in Week 10, we know one other game that week. It is just a Monday night game, but they have let us know this Monday night game. It will be the Philadelphia Eagles at the Green Bay Packers on that Monday night of Week 10.
That'll be fun, the tush-push game.
That should be a lot of fun. Yeah. I mean, that was a good game last year in Brazil.
Yeah, it was.
Even with Jordan Love going down early in that game. It was
late in the game.
That was late in the game.
Yeah,
it was fourth quarter.
Had an opportunity there.
And that was a fun game. So this also, hopefully, a fun game. I hope the Eagles come out and push their whole way down the field, because it was the Packers were the one that came up with the idea to eliminate the play. So I just hope they run that play.
Oh, it's because the Packers couldn't run it.
Times.
The Packers tried it
can't
twice
run it,
and
they can't stop it.
It was awesome.
They can't run it. They can't stop it. They aren't good at it. So if you're not good at it, outlaw it, right? I guess. I hate the idea there.
Yeah, if you're not good at it, outlaw it. This is like an inspirational quote.
Highly inspirational. Week 11, we have the Washington Commanders taking on the Miami Dolphins. This will be the final of the international games. This one will be coming to us from Madrid in Spain. So should be a quite beautiful game, you know. It's supposed to be a very beautiful place. Never have been to Spain, but kind of like the music. Week 13, we have Kansas City taking on the Dallas Cowboys. This game will be in Dallas. This will be Jerry's Thanksgiving game. So, as always, the Cowboys having that beautiful Thanksgiving game. We know what it is. It's
no matter how bad.
The Chiefs.
You get Cooper Rush, you get anyone. Cowboys on Thanksgiving.
Yeah, oh yeah, Cowboys and Lions on Thanksgiving. It's a must. And now the Lions are playing some good football, so that makes it intriguing. But Chiefs and Cowboys, so 2 games already that you're like, all right, well, you know.
The Black Friday game is what I'm.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
And they are bringing back the Black Friday game. It will be a 2 o'clock in the afternoon kickoff on Amazon Prime. It will be the Chicago Bears taking on the Philadelphia Eagles on the Black Friday game.
Sidebar. I was in Chicago this weekend. Sorry.
Go for it.
And how about it? Duh Pope.
Duh Pope.
There were so many ads. They're like, duh Pope, or like Chicago, so grateful.
But White Sox fan, man.
Yeah, he grew up on the South Side. It's okay. It's
no,
okay.
It's not okay.
Well, as a practicing Catholic, there's been a lot of losses in the Catholic Church lately, so I'm okay with
This is fine. This is fine.
Yep, no one can get mad at me. I go to church, go to Catholic Church. The Catholic Church has been struggling for a little bit, so it kind of goes hand in hand with the White Sox.
So the Bears and Eagles game will be Black Friday. It will be on Prime, 2 o'clock kickoff on a Friday. It's because, you know why they're kicking off at 2?
Why?
Because it is the law. They cannot play on Friday nights then. Between the second Friday in September to the first Friday in December, the NFL cannot put games on TV at night because of the federal law of 1956, the FCC.
So that's just on Fridays?
Yep.
Just on Fridays, the NFL can't play games at night?
Yep. And it's to protect high school football.
Oh, I like that rule then.
Yeah.
I like that rule.
Yeah, that rule is basically in place to protect high school football, to keep people watching it, and to keep the NFL from just taking over everything. But this was also a law that got passed back way in the 50s, where it was way more important to have all those high school games anyway, which is still way more important to have those high school games.
Yeah, agreed. But how awesome is it, though, when it's like week 14 or 16 or so, and you get those Saturday games?
Yeah, after college football stuff.
Yeah, or I mean, college football sometimes.
It's bowl season at that point in time.
Yeah, it's bowl season and like the Army-Navy game.
Yeah, or like the Saturday. I feel like they had a couple this year where it was like, I was like watching like Memphis versus Tulane, and then maybe it was conference championship.
So,
and then you're like,
conference championship.
But you hit that lull, and you're like, oh, let's go. We got Chiefs Steelers. Let's go.
Yeah. I think it's the week after conference championship week that the NFL starts taking over on Saturdays. There, you do have some of those kind of, underwhelming bowl games going on, but I don't think that it coincides with the college football playoff or any of that.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Scheduling conflicts, though, I'm sure are they have to maybe not work in concert together with each other trying to figure it out, but I'm sure college football is like, all right, well, just don't be playing games when our college football playoff is going on.
Oh yeah, that's a definite. That's even a bad idea for the NFL because you want people watching football, and a regular season NFL game versus a playoff college football game, I know where eyeballs are going to be.
Yeah.
And it's going to be more, both are going to get watched heavily, but that college game will carry the night in terms of ratings. Let's see. Week 16, we'll see the Packers taking on the Chicago Bears on a Saturday. And also on that Saturday, we will see the Eagles taking on the Commanders. So some nice interdivisional games there towards the end of the season. That's got to be nice for the standings and just some exciting football. And then we know Week 17, we will see the Denver Broncos taking on the Kansas City Chiefs on a Christmas Day game that will be available on Prime. So many games now on so many networks, and you got to pay for so many different things now. NFL, make it easier for me to watch football. Please make it easier for me to watch football.
Well, they are going to make one thing easier for you. The Chargers game, I believe it's week 10. We don't have an opponent for that, but we'll have it tonight after the NFL schedule release. The Chargers are going to be playing on regular YouTube.
Yeah, that's the YouTube game. So it'll be on YouTube TV and just on the regular YouTube
Yeah, regular
app.
YouTube, and it will,
it'll be on the YouTube TV too, of course, because they got a lot of NFL games there. But yes, the regular, go to YouTube, open it up, and, type in, whoever they're playing, and I guarantee you it'll hit back.
It'll probably be the first thing that you see if you type in YouTube. I bet if you bring up a Google page, it'll be right on there. NFL on YouTube right now.
All right, guys, we are to the top of the hour, so that means we are going to be taking a break. When we come back, our regular guest, Keith Fleming, will be joining us. We'll talk some golf. We'll talk some bets, and I'll let Max do most of the talking because he knows way more about golf than I do.
Hey, well, we're strengths and weaknesses. I'd rather know more about hockey.
We do. We gotta play to our strengths, man. That's what makes a great show. All right, guys, taking a break. Inside Drive. We will be right back.
Celebrating 2 years of broadcasting history.
I told you this would work.
It's the Best of Bay awarded Inside Drive on 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. Weekdays 11 to 1 with Ryan Mulvey.
I love it.
Covering the biggest stories, breaking news, the latest trades, and taking your calls. The Inside Drive is live and local middays from the Gulf Plus studios.
Happy anniversary.
That kid was on roids.
On ESPN Northwest Florida.
Good morning. This is Joanna on ESPN Northwest Florida with your weather forecast on this Wednesday. Mostly sunny this afternoon and evening with a gentle breeze coming out of the southwest around 11 miles per hour and temps near 80. Tonight we will have slight fog and mostly clear skies and be warm at 74. Slightly foggy in the morning followed by mostly sunshine tomorrow and a high 81. This forecast is sponsored by Mid-South Lumber, the best little lumber yard in Panama City. Thank you for keeping that dial on ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
CBC Construction is looking for a few good men. At CBC Construction, our greatest strength lies within our talented team. Join us and be a part of a dynamic company that values its people. We offer a tremendous opportunity to create a future for your family and the Florida Panhandle. CBC Construction is now hiring. Call us at 850-740-3815 or visit cbcconstruction.com to learn more. CBC Construction. Be part of a winning team.
WGSX Lynn Haven, W Field Q Port St. Joe. Powered by Panama City Toyota.
And that's out of the ballpark. ESPN Northwest Florida.
With over 65 years of combined experience, Instant Replay Sports Cards is happy to help you take your collection to the next level. They carry all the new hobby boxes, signed memorabilia, and supplies. New and vintage cards in Pokemon. They sell and trade cards and are always looking to buy. They're an authorized source for Topps, Panini, Upper Deck, and Leaf cards. Instant Replay Sports Cards is open 7 days a week at 752 West 23rd Street, down from Academy Sports. It can always be reached at InstantReplaySportsCards.com.
Now back to the Inside Drive, live and local from the Gulf Plus studios.
Sky rockets in flight.
And now, the afternoon delight debrief with the three degenerates from the Inside Drive.
Afternoon delight.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
Inside Drive, rocking it out. Sponsored by Golf Plus. We are here in the Golf Plus studios, coming to you from beautiful Panama City Beach. You can find us on the airwaves, 104.3 Panama City, 101.9 Port St. Joe. You can also download our app and take us with you anywhere that you can pick up the internet. Be sure to call and text us, 850-215-6290, and be sure to follow us on all of our socials. We're out there on X. We're out there on Facebook. We are out there on, I think we're out there on Twitch even. Yeah. So, yeah, go out, find us and take us with you and keep up with what is going on here at the studios. This is Braves country here at ESPN Northwest Florida, and the Braves will be taking on the Nationals tonight. Coverage begins at 6 after the afternoon underdogs. First pitch this evening, 6:15, as the Braves taking on the Nationals. I am James Fife. We got Max DeLyden with us, David Hayes in the back, hitting the buttons, making it happen. And right now, we have our good friend Keith Fleming, and he is going to be talking some golf with us today. So, Keith, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. What's going on, guys?
Hey, Keith. James filling in for Ryan today. How is your Wednesday going so far?
It's not too bad. Not as good as Ryan, who obviously has the day off. And I know that he was celebrating his anniversary with his lovely wife, Beth, last night. So I want to wish them a very happy anniversary. How are you guys doing?
Doing great, my man. Absolutely enjoying the day. So, going to talk some golf with you today. Max is going to help me out because he's more of the golfer than I am. But I do know that the major is coming up at Quail Hollow.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Oh, go ahead, Max. I'm sorry.
No, you're good, Keith. Yeah, I'm excited to talk to you about this. I know, don't have the golf caliber that Ryan and you do, but I had a few notes for you. I know that you're, heavily invested in the DFS world, and I like to at least, take some futures on golf as well, and I like to do those rosters. So off the top here, I had a question for you, and I want to know your thoughts on this. I know a really popular cheap play this week is Keith Mitchell at 6,200. And I'm curious if you think, he's an awesome driver, and obviously this is a driver course. Do you think that's too chalk of a play, or do you think there's some steam to that?
So it depends what you're doing. Because if you're doing cash single entries, which is all that I do, I tell people all the time that I get the appeal of these huge purses and the multi-entry events. But if you look, most of them have 150 for the max entries, and if you're doing, say, even 5, and somebody's doing 150, they have a huge leg up. If you're going to do those and you're not doing the max amount of entries, you want to play players that you're not sharing with a lot of people. So he would not be a good play in multi-entry events. And single-entry cash ones, absolutely, he's a great play. He's got a good record on this course. He's top 10 in total strokes gained since the remodel in 2018. As you were talking about, he hits it a mile. He also hits it really straight, which is going to be really important this week. And he's good around the greens, which that is something that is not being talked about enough. For instance, if you look at the strokes gained total this year, like the combination in percentages between strokes gained tee to green and strokes gained putting at the last 4 years, at Quail Hollow, it's 60% tee to green, 40% putting. For instance, at the same time period at Augusta National, it's 92% tee to green and 8% putting. So putting is a huge factor. Like, you need guys that can get up and down, can scramble, because it's so hard to hit greens here. There's 8 holes on this course that the best players in the world are going to hit right at 50% or lower of the greens in regulation. So scrambling is such a big part this week, and distance is another with all the rain that they've seen over the last few days.
Wow, yeah. No, I appreciate that insight. Yeah, I agree. I have a future on Bryson to win this week, so I would love to see that come to fruition. And I got to give credit to my buddy on the side. His name's Bryce Danielson. He works over at RotoWire, especially in their golf department. So he gave me this one, and this is one I'm actually really curious to hear your opinion on, because I don't know anything about this guy. But Marco Penge over at $5,400. I know he recently won on the DP World Tour. He's a bomber, priced lower than even like Blocky, and he was suspended at the end of last year for betting on golf, which is kind of funny because we were just talking about Pete Rose and Shoeless Joe and their reinstatement. So gambling's been a common theme today as we're talking about gambling on golf. But yeah, he was saying it allows you to stack on Bryson and Rory up top. I'm curious what you think about Marco.
Yeah, I like him a lot. We actually, on the 2 Off the Tee show last night on Fantasy Six Pack, brought up his name because he's one of the few guys in the 5K range that I actually feel really good about. The other being Sami Valmäki. He is a young man from Finland who hits it plenty far enough, but the big thing is he's great on the greens. He's top 10 right now on the tour in putting and strokes gained. And then the other big thing, again, we talk about the length of this course. It's 7,600 yards. It's going to play even longer because of just how wet it is. And he is one of the top players on tour, not only in strokes gained approach, but on iron shots of 200-plus yards, which these guys are going to see a lot of this week. It's why I do think that your Bryson future, Bryson has the ability. He's the other guy with Rory and Scotty that I really feel if he comes out and plays his best game, he can win and run away with this tournament because he obviously has more length than anybody on tour, including Rory. He's been hitting it much straighter in the last year than previous iterations of Bryson. And the way he has putted on this venue, granted, it has been a couple of years ago, but he was making, over his last 8 rounds, 63% of his putts from 10 to 15 feet at Full Hollow. The tour average is 25% from that range. Wow. He's gaining over a stroke and a half per round on the greens over his last 8 rounds there. If he putts like that again this week, he is going to be very difficult to beat with his obviously advantage with, how far he hits the ball, the fact that he's hitting 8 irons from, even on the longest holes if he's 220, 30 yards out. And then the way he's putted on these greens, which is the one, since it's been renovated. So these are, he's played basically this course. They lengthened it 30 yards and then narrowed the fairways. But other than that, it's the same event that they've been playing for the Wells Fargo and what is now the Truist Championship.
Yeah, wow, that's crazy. Yeah, because I don't know if are you based out of Florida? Or are you in Alabama? Georgia,
I'm
right?
in Atlanta.
You're in Atlanta,
Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, so like Hard Rock here has this thing where you can put $250 or up to that amount on a golfer, and if they finish top 5 but don't win, you get your money back. So I was like, all right, let's do it on Bryson. Win $2,000 if you win.
I love that. Yeah,
and get your money back. I mean, I don't hate the odds there, but no, I appreciate that insight. That's actually really interesting to know. And then another one that my friend at RotoWire suggested too is $7,900 for Daniel Berger. Ball striking awesome this season. Has had steady results, and he thinks he should be swapped with Zalatoris because he thinks Zalatoris 8,700 is just robbery because he's been so bad.
Man, I need to hook up with your friend at RotoWire because Daniel Berger is absolutely on my betting cheat sheet this week as well as my DFS cheat sheet for Fantasy Six Pack. I think he's one of the best values on DK in this field. I actually love the 8K and just below range. You have like Patrick Reed, who I know a lot of people don't like him. I get that, but he shows up, plays very well in majors. He consistently plays hard golf courses as well, and this is one of the hardest golf courses on tour year in and year out. And then on top of that, he wants to make the Ryder Cup, and unfortunately because of him being on the LIV Tour, there's only 2 ways for him to make that. One is to actually get one of the captain's picks, and let's be honest, he's not winning any popularity contests. I don't think he's going to be a captain's pick. The other is to play very well in the 4 major championships, or if he wins one of them, it almost will all but guarantee that he will be in the top 6 and automatically get on the Ryder Cup team. He obviously had a really good finish at Augusta. He finished 3rd there, so he's off to a good start. And it's a guy that finished T2 at this event back in 2017 when Justin Thomas won. So I really like him. And then there's also guys like Keegan Bradley in this price range who plays really long, difficult course as well because he drives it far and straight. Really great iron player. I think there's a lot of value in that range. I would recommend, if you're doing a lineup this week, I just think you have to have either Scheffler, Rory, or Bryson in it. You basically pick the guy you like the most, but they're the 3 top dogs by a considerable margin. But there is also some real value, I feel like, in the pricing with like JT, Xander Schauffele, and Jon Rahm, who we all know have the ability to play to the levels of Rory, Scotty, Bryson, and you're getting them for, Scheffler's 13.4. So, I think JT's 9,900, Jon Rahm's 10,200, even Xander's like 10.5. That's really good discounts when all those guys played well in the previous major at Augusta.
Yeah, I like X in that spot there for sure. And I know this is one of the questions we had here too. Do you think is there any chance of Jordan Spieth, getting it done this weekend?
I mean, we can't say nothing's possible because I had given up on Rory winning a Masters. I really had, even with how well he's played. it had been 11 years, and just like he seemed to always get in his way. And what did he
almost
do
did
on
this
Sunday?
year.
He did get in his way. He absolutely got in his way, but he still won. It was almost like, I don't know. And again, he hit some unbelievable shots down the stretch, but he also did so many things to lose that tournament. And it was almost like it was meant to be in many ways.
And Keith, too, I feel like Rose, like where his ball landed on that playoff hole is probably where you wanted to be. He just didn't get a good roll on it. Like, I never thought I'd be in an alternate universe where I'm rooting for Justin Rose to win at Augusta, but there I was on Sunday.
I mean, it's insane. That was one of the hardest golf tournaments I've ever watched. And I'm not even a Rory fan. Like, I've never been a guy that's been a big Rory dude. I was a huge Tiger fan growing up. You know, Rory winning those 4 majors when he was young. You know, he's quickly kind of coming up on Tiger's block. And so you just naturally are like, I don't like this dude because he's not Tiger and he's winning all these majors. But I was rooting for him, and it was just so hard to watch because it seemed like he would either, you know, do the most beautiful golf thing you'd ever seen or just like the dumbest thing. I mean, missing the green with a wedge on 18 was like, it was shocking that he did that. Like, I was like, once he hit that draw, I was like, it's over. But so I would never say that Spieth has no chance, but this is not really a great venue for him because he doesn't drive the ball particularly straight. And his irons are really hit or miss. He's so good around the greens that if it plays extremely tough and he has, a good driving or a good iron week, he absolutely has a chance to be in contention, but he just consistently has a hard time finding fairways. And on a course like this, that has been soaked by rain, I heard the greens crew say they're not going to probably cut the rough again this week, which with all that rain means it is going to be super gnarly, almost like a U.S. Open. And he's going to have a hard time out of that because he doesn't hit it. Like, he hits it plenty far, but, you know, again, guys like Rory, DeChambeau, Dean Burnster, like, there's guys that if they cut corners, they're going to be 80, 90 yards ahead of 80% of the field on some of these shots in the greens.
Yeah, I think you and my friend from RotoWire might be the same because, he has a $5 bet on Dean to win just for
I love Dean this week. Yep.
It looks like he's got another small one on like Patrick Reed too, kind of like a hate bet, I guess. But I mean, hey, Reed played well at Augusta, and you know, in a world where he doesn't miss that, what do you have, like an eagle putt or something, and then he ended up 3-putting, or I'm trying to remember what it was. That one hole he could have been in the playoff. How do you feel about Min Woo Lee this weekend?
I mean, his game sets up very well for this venue. He's so good on and around the greens. He is one of the longest guys in the field off the tee. His issue is going to be his iron play. Now, if he has, say, a really good iron week, I think Min Woo Lee will be right there on Sunday, but he's been very inconsistent with his irons overall. But he's been somebody that I've been really impressed with how well he's played in major championships already in his career. I mean, like, he doesn't have too many like top 5s or top 10s, but he's just always like 20th, 30th, and usually it takes a while for these guys to kind of get their footing in major championships, because I've heard it kind of compared to by some PGA players. It's a difference in an NBA game